You're watching the Sports Central Podcast.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for being here. I can't even imagine what this last 6 months have been like. How would you describe it?
It's a whirlwind. Obviously my world is turned upside down, but in a beautiful way. So I'd say a lot of things are very, very different. Obviously, you have $10 million, have access to talk about, Lucas's condition, have a platform to kind of share more about it. But still driving my minivan, still taking the kids to school, still coaching baseball. So life is good.
Mr. Beast is one of the more popular figures on YouTube and just in that influencer space. How did you learn about Mr. Beast, and how did you learn about these Beast games?
Yeah, so Mr. Beast, goes without saying, he's got 380 million YouTube subscribers. So he's the number one YouTuber in the world. My oldest son, Jack, he's 9. He introduced me to Mr. Beast, I'd say early 24. And he's like, hey, Dad, let's watch these episodes. They come out kind of every few weeks on a Saturday. I'm like, oh my God, these are pretty cool. Like, these are fun to watch. And I'd say about 4 months later, I saw like on a casting website, Mr. Beast games, like apply here, largest cash prize in entertainment history. I'm like, okay, this has got to be cool. And so I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I can apply and I could be the cool dad to Jack, but Jack's little brother Lucas has a rare brain disorder called Creatine Transporter Deficiency. There's less than 400 people in the world with his condition. So I'm like, if I can get on, I can be cool to Jack, and then I can also get a platform to speak about Lucas. Okay, screw it. Let me go on and apply and see what happens.
So at the beginning of 2024, you were introduced to Mr. Beast. Little did you know that Mr. Beast was going to change your life. 2,000 contestants to start on YouTube before the Amazon Prime show?
Yeah, 2,000. So, and that was a surprise to me. I thought it was 1,000 to start, and it was like an hour before. We're in Vegas, and we're at Allegiant Stadium. We're pulling in on these giant buses. And people are like, hey, did you see the video that Mr. Beast sent out over email? And I'm like, no. And someone showed it to us. This is before we turned on our phones. And it said, hey, everybody, we're glad you're here. There's 2,000 of you guys competing to be on Beast Games. I'm like, what? I thought I was here already on Beast Games. So, 2,000 of us competed for 4 days.
It's like a 50-50 shot at that point.
Totally. And again, I was a fish out of water. I am a 44-year-old man with, 2 kids, silver hair. Most people there were in their 20s, maybe 30s. Don't get me wrong, there's a few of us, kind of elder statesmen. But I'm like questioning, what am I even doing here? Like, my wife must think I'm crazy. But I'm so glad I didn't chicken out.
Okay, so when it starts, Jeff, I imagine you have to go away for a little bit, right? What was the time frame, and how did that work?
Yeah, so the first part of it in Vegas was, you could be gone upwards of 10 days. And so I was gone like 5. And I remember when I came home in between that and going to Beast Games on Prime, I picked up my son from camp, and he looked at me and he kind of shook his head. He goes, you got eliminated after the second challenge, didn't you? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I got home early. We weren't there the whole time. And he looked so dejected. He was so sad. But he was obviously excited that I made it through. And so we had a couple weeks off, and they said, okay, you have to be in Toronto, and it's going to be obviously 1,000, and you could be gone upwards of 6 weeks. And once you get there, you turn in your phone, you turn in your laptop, you turn in your watch. So you have like no concept of date, time, no connection to the outside world. It's a little bit scary at first, but after a few days, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm free. And it was great.
So when you started 1,000 people, the odds of winning that grand prize, very, very slim, right? And that 6 weeks, you're away from your family. You have very little contact with them. What about this experiment for you kind of pushed you to say, you know what? Why not? Why not do this?
Yeah, a couple things happened early spring. I got laid off from my job last year. So I led a sales team for a healthcare startup, and kind of funding kind of fell through, and they said, all right, we need to trim down, and I was one of them. And I've always had this kind of creative itch, and I love to kind of, I do musical theater every couple of years. I love to kind of record podcasts. I did them for my old work. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a midlife crisis. Maybe it's an opportunity. Who knows what it is? I'm going to take a shot. And once I got there, I realized quickly I have to make friends. And I was so lucky to meet some amazing people on literally day zero, on the first day.
Wow.
That many of them were my friends even until the top 10. We made it all the way to the top 10 together. So once I kind of got there and made friends, I'm like, this is so fun. Like, it's like adult summer camp. And I have a shot to tell Lucas's story and win $10 million, or at the time it was $5 million. Like, where else would I want to be?
So the Beast Games, for those who have no idea what it is, it's probably the biggest game show I've ever seen. How would you describe it as somebody who experienced it from start to finish?
Knowing Mr. Beast and seeing his challenges on YouTube before, you know they're big. But when I walked onto that first set, and granted, I don't have a ton of experience. I've never been on any reality show before, never been on the competition show. I don't spend time in movie studios. I walked in, it was the biggest thing I'd ever seen. There was 1,000 kind of drop door platforms. The lighting, kind of the colors, it was like, where am I? So I immediately realized like what he does is a giant spectacle. And the next episode, we get down to 500. We walk into what's called Beast City. He spent like $15 million building a city at this kind of old airport hangar. And it was amazing. I mean, it was like, I just, everything he does is so big and so vast. So you just knew that the further you make it, if you keep going to the next challenge, you're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be a ton of fun, and you're closer to the ultimate prize.
And you win money along the way too, right? People can win money along the way.
You can, but it's usually at the expense of yourself, meaning you self-eliminate, or at the expense of others. So in the first episode, there was, all of us had a chance, I'd say the vast majority of us had a chance to take $100,000, but you'd have to eliminate 7 people in your row. And so it's like, it's definitely all these kind of psychological dilemmas, Sophie's choice. But to look back and think that like people could have taken $100,000 and went home by pressing a button, just still boggles my mind.
You learn so much about yourself, and you learn about others. What did you learn most about yourself throughout this process?
Lucas has taught me more about life than any coach, any teacher, or any mentor, and it's just like, who are you? Who do you want to be? And it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's a job or with friends, go be that person. So for me, when I thought of Beast Games when I was there, it's like, hey, like, there's only one reason to do anything. It's a sign to the world or the universe of who you are. So like, yes, of course I would love to press a button and take $100,000, but I look to my left and I see my friend J Mo, and I look to my right and I see my friend Jordan. I'm like, I can't send them home just because I won $100,000. So it was kind of a good mirror for my values of like who I want to be. And, fortunately for me, it worked out okay.
Jeff, I see the numbers on, your chest, right? You're 831.
Yeah.
And you're known as 831.
Yeah.
Right? You're just a number. As it progressed, at what point did you really feel like you had a legit shot to win this thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, because initially what my prime driver was, I need to go far enough until there's a camera in my face and I can talk about Lucas. That started happening when we got to the top 60. And when we were the top 60, you had to choose physical, mental, or chance. I chose physical. I don't know why I did. I was working out well. I used to play college football. But granted, there's a lot of really fit, strong people. And the first challenge, we had to pull a monster truck. So there was 8 people on my team. We were going up against another team. We had to pull a 12,000-pound monster truck over speed bumps. And we were David. They were Goliath. Like, they were Division I at BYU, Division I rugby player. And we just had the smarts. We fortunately knew physics, got over the speed bumps the right way, and won. And after the physical mental challenge, chance challenge, we got down to 21. And when we were in 21, I look around and go, man, I have 4 people from my alliance still here. I know these people pretty well. I have good relationships. Like, I think I kind of have a shot. And it really solidified once we got into the top 10. I'm like, hey, it's time to turn up my game. I can still play fair and kind, but like, the athlete in me needs to come out.
Yeah. As it got closer, I saw an interview that you did, and you kept referring to the number 6, right? The number 6 was kind of showing up everywhere. Take our viewers through what the number 6 meant to you at that time and what it ultimately meant in winning the prize.
Yeah, I mean, kind of historically speaking, 6 meant nothing to me. So again, when I think about number, and I love numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I love prime numbers. 6 is not a prime number. 6 was never a jersey number.
Yeah. LeBron, like
yeah,
an old LeBron.
Exactly. Yeah. But I got awarded by Patrick number 930, key number 6 in one of the challenges, which put me into kind of bunk number 6. And then after the top 10, we did a challenge, and I got into the top 6. And then I went in my bunk, and you had a lot of alone time, especially when you get to the top 6. It's like it was cold, it was kind of rainy outside, like no one wanted to talk to anybody else. I had a prayer book, and I was saying a prayer. There were 6 words in that verse, and just like the number 6 just kept coming up. So when we got to the final challenge, it was a briefcase like on a Lazy Susan. There was 10 briefcases with a number assigned to it, and I was standing and looking at it. I'm like, even before I knew what the game was, I'm like, it's 6. And so like obviously once we did the challenge, I kind of, it was a bluffing game. I pressure tested 830 Tawana to see if she could tell me where it was, but in my mind I was already going 6. So it was, I don't know if I incepted it, maybe I incepted it more than I read it, but it was certainly something where I've never felt that level of certainty. It was kind of a cool moment. You hear athletes talk about being in the zone. That's where I was that night.
When it went from 5 to 10 million, what was the environment like when people realized that the stakes just doubled?
It was my favorite part of the game. So my friend, Gage974, who's, I became good friends with him in the games, traditionally a quiet, shy guy in big groups, but personally, individually, he's awesome. And he stepped up in the challenge before, and I kind of look over at him when they're like, hey, like you can flip this coin to double the prize from 5 to 10 million if you get it right. If you get it wrong, you're going home with nothing. And so like what a big risk that is. And I look over at him and I see like kind of like a twinkle in his eyes, and he grabs the coin. And I like go, I am so proud of you. It's just a big moment, just a big moment to step up, not just for him, but for everybody else. You double the prize money for everybody. And so after he got it, it just changed. Everybody's energy was up, and everybody respected each other. The top 6, we knew each other. We respected each other. There weren't like any enemies. It was just a cool moment where we all realized like 5 million is huge. 10 million is outrageous. And it was just my absolute favorite part of the games.
Jeff, driving in today, I was just trying to think of something I can equate this to in the sports world, like an NCAA tournament or an NBA finals, or just something that involves having to go through all these different levels to be the last one standing. And I don't think I could find a comp, because there's 1,000 people, and there had to be so many twists and turns and teamwork to get to that final point to pick number 6. Yeah. When you won the money, I don't even know if it's hit you yet, but like all of the things that had to be perfectly aligned for 831 to take home the 10 million, like how does that hit you?
It's somebody, like some kind of statistician ran the statistics on even what the odds are in the top 6 to have won, because there's so many variables inside each challenge. So it's not 1 in 1,000. It's like 1 in a billion. Like I don't know the exact number, but it's like, it's crazy. Like I honestly, I truly believe it's a miracle. Like it's just wild to think that filling out an application, saying yes, and then seeing my journey, and I've looked back at it a bunch of times. It's just fun to look back at the people who helped me get to where I was. The fact that I won $10 million on my first choice on the last challenge is a miracle.
I'm one of those people that firmly believes that things just happen for a reason, right? And this is where we get to the most important part, your family and your son. I want you to explain to our audience the disease that your son has. You kind of talked about it at the beginning, but like maybe kind of dig into this and how he's been able to live with this, how you guys have been able to take the best care of for him, and also just where we are with funding for this disease and just the awareness in general.
Yeah. So my youngest son, Lucas, was born with Creatine Transporter Deficiency, known as CTD. It's an ultra-rare brain disorder. It only impacts a few hundred people in the world, where his brain doesn't get the creatine it needs to develop. So, I mean, obviously, we're in sports. I took creatine when I played football in college. Almost all athletes have taken it at one point. But it's not just for athletes. People take it now for brain health. So it's one of the primary kind of energy sources for your brain. And his transporter that takes it from the blood to the brain is defective. So his body makes it fine, but it just never gets to where it needs in his organs. So creatine, like the brain is your organ who never takes a rest either. It is always working, even when we sleep. So it's depleted of energy. So his brain doesn't develop, doesn't function or thrive like your normal 7-year-old. So cognitively, developmentally, behaviorally, he's set back. And researchers have been working on this for about 25 years. They've made progress, but there's nothing kind of material where we can actually get something to the brain. But the good news is, like here in LA, UCLA is doing some awesome stuff on it. Dr. Lipschutz. But there's doctors all over the world who are working on it, and I'm convinced we will find a treatment. And winning the $10 million, being able to tell the world about it, and being able to help fund more research is only going to help us get there quicker. But with Lucas, he's a sweet boy. Like he is a happy boy. He's in the moment. Like you want to talk about being in the zone. He's not thinking about his next shot or his last kind of missed free throw. He is here, which is just a great reminder to mom and dad and his brother that life is best lived when you're in the moment.
I was just going to ask you, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from Lucas? Is it that?
That's one of it. I'd say the biggest one is, finding the beauty in the bumps. Like, anytime you want to have a family, you never wish for having a child with a rare disease or special needs. But it doesn't mean it has to be horrible or it has to be a hindrance or it has to suck. Lucas has given us so much beauty, but you have to be willing to look at it. So with the bumps, we all go through challenges, but like you talk about athletes, it's like you either win or you learn. That mindset is same with our family, where he's helped us see the beauty in these challenges. And if it wasn't for his condition, I would never have signed up for Beast Games. I would never have been able to help more families with CTD. So it's that's the ultimate gift he's given me. And my job and Jen's job, my wife, is to try to give back to him all the gifts he's given us.
Have you heard from some of those families since winning?
Oh yeah. I've been active in the community for years as a voluntary board member, and just it's like one message I got from a family she's got an older son, and she's like, this is the first time in years where I've gone to bed with more hope than despair that there might be a treatment for my son someday. And when you're combating a rare disease, hope is half the battle. You have to believe that a miracle can happen. You have to believe that we can discover something, because you kind of feel like you're alone. Like it's underfunded by academia, it's underfunded by the government, it's underfunded by big pharma, but it just is what it is. There's only a few hundred people in the world. So us as parents have to roll up our sleeves and get tough and go fight for our kids.
I know we talked about this a bit off air, but just kind of digging into the disease a little bit more. You said Lucas cognitively is a lot younger than his age, correct?
Yeah. So he's 7, going on 8, and he's in special needs classroom. But most 8-year-olds, they're doing math, they can spell, they're reading. Lucas has a few words that mom and dad can understand. He can do like puzzles and some matching. I think he's a lot smarter than his communication leads on. Yeah. But yeah, he has a very difficult time communicating and telling people how he feels and what he needs. But his heart does not need any help. His laugh is contagious. He's happy. So and again, another reminder that kind of being stronger in your heart than your head, or is something that he teaches us all the time. He's happy, and then this is what I convince myself. I'm the eternal optimist. My wife is super pragmatic. This is why we're a great pair.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always believe that, hey, Lucas is going to get his brain treated someday. Let's work on his heart. We can work on how he feels, how he kind of interacts with others, and then eventually he gets creatine into his brain. He's going to be the full package.
Jeff, a lot of this, it feels hard to believe, right? That you got laid off at the right time.
Yeah.
to watch those videos with your son of Mr. Beast and to fill out an application and to get through the first 1,000, get to the second 1,000, get to the top 60 where you get some camera time and can talk about Lucas's condition, and then end up winning $10 million. The thing that really blows my mind is you had to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
To the closest in your family. Tell me about that.
Yeah. By the way, I love how you spell that out. It's like, it really is wild to think how it all played out. Again, find the beauty in the bumps.
Yeah.
If I kind of complained about losing my job, maybe I wouldn't be here. The secret, I was so fortunate to have my oldest son and my wife there at the finale, so we could talk to them. But I couldn't tell my mom. I couldn't tell my dad. I have 4 sisters. Couldn't tell them, and thank God I didn't tell them because they would have told everybody.
It'd be on social media.
It'd be on social media. But it was kind of a gift, It was our special secret. Obviously, you have an NDA that you sign, but the other portion of it, which is like, I love this. One of the show producers, who's like one of the main people at Mr. Beast, kind of sat down with the top 6 and said, "Hey, think about all you've gone through to get to this moment. How much fun it's been, how much heartache it's been, the emotions, the roller coasters. Believe it or not, the viewers at home will feel the same thing. You will do a disservice to them if you tell them how you got out, when you got out, how much money you got, if you won. So do yourself a favor. Do not tell anybody anything." So that combined with the NDA was enough for me. But for my 9-year-old son, I have no clue how he didn't tell his friends.
Man, I was going to say, the 9-year-old son who loves Mr. Beast and saw his dad do something impossible.
Well, it's twofold. Like, I kind of was hey, this is really meaningful. We got to keep this a secret. This is an awesome opportunity to learn the power of concealment, kind of teaching some life lessons.
Yeah.
And then my wife, the pragmatic one, literally whips out the NDA and says, "Hey, you see this dollar amount? If we tell anybody, this goes away." And so between the two of that, it worked for him. And he told me a couple of days ago, I'm like, "Hey, did you ever tell anybody?" He goes, he goes, "I didn't." He goes, his friend Nathan is his best friend. He's like, "I told Nathan one time, like in a joke, like, oh, my dad's a multimillionaire." He goes, "But that's all I ever said." And by the way, he thought I was joking, so it worked out well. But
if Nathan would have blown it.
I know, but Nathan's another good kid too. So I can't believe he didn't tell anybody, even after like the episodes because he went there, he saw Beast City. So even after like episode 2 or 3 or 4, like he never told his friends, "Hey, see that city? I've been there." So he's something special.
Jeff, what I love about your story, man, is that you got to share that experience with your oldest son, right? Who introduced you to it. You got the platform for Lucas. You got life-changing money that you can do so much with to help your family and to support this cause. And I think maybe equally important is that this story, whether people watch the show or see this podcast or another interview that you've done, I think you're going to just inspire a lot of people to maybe chase that thing that they haven't done before, right? And that's, I think, one of the most important things. We get one life.
Yeah. And
if you don't pursue something that you feel like can be life-changing, you're going to regret it.
And I think if you have the desire to do something, there's probably a good chance that you have something to share. And like that's one of my philosophies is like, if you have something to share, you're going to keep waking up in the morning. I think the moment you don't share your gifts, or the moment where you start to get them taken away. Mm-hmm. And so for me, like, the fact that I can go out and talk about Lucas and talk about how Jack was my Beast Games coach, man, I will tell anybody all about this experience. But yeah, go for your dreams. Sign up for season 2 if you haven't already. It was a adventure of a lifetime. I encourage anybody and everybody to follow Mr. Beast and sign up for season 2.
And final thing for you, I listened to a few of the interviews that you've done in the past, and you're doing something really awesome. You're walking across California?
Yeah, we next time you might have to join. You look super fit.
All right, we'll see.
No, we rucked across California. So we Lucas carries the weight of Creatine Transporter Deficiency every day. So me and my buddy Jeremy, number 991 from the show, said, let's carry Lucas's weight across the entire state of California, 365 miles from Death Valley to Ventura. And so we rucked through the desert all the way to Pacific Ocean, carrying 52 pounds on our back, split between the two of us. It was hard, but it was awesome.
So you've done this already. When did you do it?
Yeah, we did it a week after the show aired.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we it was a quick turn. It was like, hey, we just win. Now we got on the road, and walked 365 miles. It was I got to figure out what's next, because the ruck we called it Ruck for Rare, and we were able to raise $150,000 that goes directly to research, and our aim is to do that again, and we vlogged it. It's all on my YouTube channel. It's a ton of fun.
Oh man. All right, we'll get you out of here on this. That Mr. Beast bug now. What's next for you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying going around talking to people like you, sharing Lucas's story, and would love to do more with Mr. Beast. I think he is a super inspirational kind of content creator, but wants to do more for humanity. Does a lot for philanthropy. I'd love to do work on his philanthropy show.
Well, we can't wait to bring him here next. Who knows what's going to happen next year, Jeff?
Exactly.
20 million. Let's go.
Yes, we'll see you in 2026.
Appreciate you, man.
Cool. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks.